Welcome to our part series on $100 social media strategy, focusing on Facebook. As you remember, our big point about Facebook is that it is not a social media platform. What do I mean? Facebook's organic reach has been dropping over time. Don't trust me, look at the data. This is true regardless of who you are, where you are. If you are a company, Facebook is not a social media platform, it is an advertising platform. So how do we use this amazing platform? Number one, don't boost posts. 99% of the time, boosted posts are just tricking you into reaching an audience that you already know in a basically way that is not very targeted. When you look at it, you must go to business.facebook.com. Business.facebook.com is where you can A/B test, find your audience, dial in on it, use the Facebook pixel, which you must install. Don't worry, I'm going fast. We've got a walkthrough coming up after this. The things I want you to try with your $100 social media strategy, which is $100 a month. I don't want you to spend $1,200 on a Tuesday. That would be a waste. I want it over time. And here's why. We want to set up, for instance, a Facebook pixel on our site that attracts anybody who's ever touched us, ever known us, build up the people that know us. Then before 2 weeks, in that time period, as that birthday is coming for anybody on, we're going to set a birthday, donate your birthday reminder. And this is going to hit and advertise to anybody who has a birthday upcoming to say, hey, why not donate your birthday to help these trees, this cause that you care about. And by the way, that little thing over time, you just need one birthday because an average birthday is easily raising over $100 and that's going to pay for itself. We want to set it and forget it. We're going to show you how to set that up. Event advertising is awesome on Facebook. You're going to set up this event, target it to the people that you're looking for in a regional area or visiting or coming through. And hopefully, if you're charging for that event or know the ROI, your game here is making sure that whatever you're paying for that event registration and they're paying you is obviously more than how much you pay to get them in the system, right? The cost per acquisition, paying attention to those numbers. Pay less, get them to pay you more. You have made money with an event. Very, very easy on Facebook, actually. The next piece is paying attention to time of day. I want you to be able to understand in the analytics where to see time of day when it comes to conversion rates. Conversion rates vary wildly. Literally, I go home, tell you what, at around 7:45, have a Pinot Noir. You want to hit me with that Pinot Noir o'clock ad about donating? Definitely a different George when you hit me at like 10:30 a.m. and my inbox is full at work and I'm stressed. I'm like, I don't have time to donate. And yet, when you just don't think about when you're targeting your ads and timing, you're wasting time on 10:30 George. Don't do that. You want Pinot Noir o'clock George. He's much nicer, much more likely to donate. Finally, lead acquisition. We can, on Facebook, get people to sign up into your email list directly from an ad. This is a very streamlined way to get people into, frankly, the email machinery. And ideally, you can turn that one email into a donor over the next 9 months through a proper marketing plan. So we're going to walk through these. We're going to show you how to do them. Good luck.
Great. So today we're going to do a quick walkthrough of a new ad campaign setup in Facebook using the nonprofit Power Poetry as an example. Power Poetry is a close partner of Whole Whales. They're the largest online teen poetry platform. So they're looking to encourage more teens and young adults to try creative writing and to use this online space as a community for both writing themselves and giving feedback to others. Also create a lot of tools and resources for poetry and creative writing teachers to use as well. So teachers are one of the groups that we'll be thinking about today in this example of an ad setup. But the first thing we do for any organization, if we want to set up a new Facebook ad campaign, is we log into Facebook Ads Manager. So this is part of Business Manager setup. You have to make sure you have an account within here in order to run these paid ads on Facebook to that date range. If you wanted to create a brand new campaign from scratch, you would start with this green Create button in the left-hand corner here. And you'd be starting at the campaign level when we're, moving from the most kind of widely applicable objectives and parameters across a full campaign down to the ad set level. We get more specific in the different types of targeting we'd like to do within that campaign, all the way down to the ad level, which is where we select, as many types of copy and image and other creative as we need to. So in this example for our poetry, at the campaign level, we first want to think about a just general objective for the campaign. You can see that Facebook divides these into 3 categories. So awareness, consideration, and conversions. So moving from kind of the most broad and top level type of engagement down to that most committed type of conversion. In this consideration column, which we use most frequently, includes things like just driving traffic to your site off of Facebook, as well as engagement with a post in Facebook, video views if you're promoting a video, lead generation if you're trying to capture emails, and then conversion goal is something you would use if you were more specifically trying to drive donations or purchases and the like. Of this example, we're trying to, let's think about trying to target the teacher audience relative to Power Poetry and drive them to one of our teacher resources pages, our groups page, which allows them to set up kind of an online classroom for the students or users that they invite. So we'd select traffic as our objective here. We can name the campaign something relative to that. So teacher groups page is where we're driving people. And we can click continue, and we move down from the campaign level into the ad set level. So now we have the opportunity to select different types of audience and placement and budget parameters, and we get to specify these by ad set. You can have multiple ad sets within a campaign, so you can test a number of different things relative to a certain objective if you have multiple audiences within that kind of broader group you're targeting, or different types of approaches you're trying to test against one another. So we can walk through parameters. You can see here that this audience size tool on the side of the Facebook ad setup page allows you to see how the selections you make affect your total reach. This is a useful way to check against the types of things you're adding. If they possibly really limit unintentionally the people you could reach, you might want to rethink whether that's actually a specification you need to make. But the audience set is where we have the most ability to be, really broad or really specific in the type of people we target. So you can see that we have the ability to target people by location as well as exclude people by location. We can target people by age, by gender, by language, and then get even more detailed on other types of demographic interest or behaviors that Facebook can guess or can broadly categorize people into. You can also very specifically upload custom audiences based on any particular list of users, past donors, members of your newsletter, things like that you would like to use as kind of a basis for targeting other people. And once you set all of these different types of parameters, you can also save these audiences so that if you do have multiple campaigns or ad sets you need to set up using the same audience parameters, you can more quickly select them once you set them up the first time. Another element of specification that you can use for targeting is placement. So as you know, Facebook owns Instagram, which means that automatic placements, which is recommended for allowing your ad to show up in as many places as possible, includes everything from the Facebook newsfeed to the Instagram feed to Marketplace, Messenger, stories on Instagram and Facebook, Instagram messages, all sorts of kind of related sites and apps. So unless you are willing to make sure that this shows up in as many places as possible, you want to deselect automatic placements and move down to edit placements so that you can specify which platforms you'd like your ad to show up on at any given time. And then the last piece that you can set on the ad set level is the budget and schedule. You can adjust budget to be either a daily spend or a lifetime budget, depending on how you need to report on that type of campaign spend. If we selected a lifetime budget for this example, $100 a month, because that's what we're testing in this series of videos is effective $100 a month social media marketing. And then you could select the start and end date. So you can set the end date for a month or 2 months, however long you need to run, again, that campaign relative to that budget. And then you can continue once you've selected those parameters and get down all the way to the ad creation part. Again, you can select and create many ads within a given ad set, and then you can get down into the formatting and details of your ad. So there are multiple types of ad formats, including the carousel ad. So you've seen these before on Facebook and Instagram, where you have multiple videos and images that you can scroll through. Single image or video, the most kind of common classic type of ad. Collection has many kind of collage style pictures together for more full screen experience. So again, depending on the type of creative you have, the way you want to set up your ads, you can select the format as a starter. If we're just sticking to single image or video, then we have a number of different additional spots for us to input our media here. So we would upload our image. You have to make sure that your images are the correct size for Facebook placements, especially if you're considering letting them run across multiple parts of Facebook and Instagram where they might shift in appearance. So making sure that you're fitting within the recommended image size here. You can upload your image in this section, or browse your library of images. Once you upload a few, they'll be saved within Ads Manager. And then getting down into other elements of the ad, you have a couple of different places where you are linking and adding written creative. So one place is your website URL. Where are you sending people? In this case, we're sending people to the groups page for Power Poetry. Let's put that in here as our website URL that we're promoting. And then we have a couple of different places for adding text. So the text part of this ad is the text you see here. There's an unlimited number of characters you can use here, and this will show up at the top of your ad, but also may not show up initially depending on the first format that somebody sees the ad in, if it's a bit smaller. You can also add a headline, which is typically 40 characters or less, and that's this bolded headline you see here. So beneath the shortened URL, you'll see a bolded headline and then an additional newsfeed link description underneath. So that's where you see this. It's not necessary to add, and it might not show in every type of placement, but this is kind of the short and sweet, maybe more call to action version of your description that you might see at first, and then this text part is the slightly longer way of adjusting your ad to include more information. You can also change the display link. This is optional, but you see how this initially shows up as just powerpoetry.org. If you wanted to adjust it and say powerpoetry.org/groups or something that seems a bit more likely to encourage click-throughs, you can do that as well. And then making sure before you save your ad that any conversion tracking is set up correctly, that if you have the Facebook pixel in place for conversion tracking, which we definitely would recommend, that is, again, correctly selected relative to your organization. And then that's it for creating an ad within your campaign. Again, you can create multiple ads for each campaign, and you can also see as you edit different elements of this how it would look across each of the different placements that you are interested in using. So again, this is where you would see the different combinations of your headline text and newsfeed link description depending on where this ad might show up. We can see a quick example of a finished ad if we go into an existing teacher signups group for Power Poetry. So for this example, in which we are targeting, again, teachers to try to drive them to a teacher groups page, you can see how in this ad we have this chunk of text here, elongated text for better explaining Power Poetry groups and what they are, in any case where this ad shows up with more space. But we also have our more immediate call to action, bring Power Poetry to life as the headline, and then a very, very quick one-line explainer of Power Poetry groups as our newsfeed link description in case this ad shows up in a place where only limited parts of the text will show.
Boy, I love a good walkthrough. Here's the next video. I suggest actually that maybe if you haven't seen it already, go back and remind yourself the $100 social media marketing plan video. And by the way, subscribe because of unicorns.